has the recording? Yeah. There it is. Everybody,
Hey, thank you, Rose.
everybody has to say got it so we
Got
can.
it.
Yeah. So it is my great pleasure to welcome each and every one of you to Not Church this morning, the first Not Church of 2022.
Woohoo.
And just to wish you all a wonderful, wonderful.
Anna, your mute button's on. Can you turn it off?
Yes. Did you hear what I said before?
I think start over.
Okay, start over. All right. So I just put my hand on Doug and my hands are so cold. I hope he didn't recoil. So I am so happy to welcome everyone to the first Not Church of 2022. And I'm just wishing you the happiest of New Year's. Things have been so rocky for so long. And I think this is one of the places we come to rise above that, to come together and support each other and find our joy. So this Not Church is different because we are expanding. And I am beyond thrilled to let you know that Rose Lee and Beatrice Garcia are the new leadership of Not Church starting today. I know, isn't that great? Many of you already know them, and if you don't, you will really enjoy getting to know them. And I thought I would just talk for a minute about this last year. This last year of Not Church has been amazing. And a year ago, we created the group that we call Tranquilo, which is like the container for Not Church and for so many other activities that we've been doing in the community for years. The meditation group, and we'll give you more details about all this later, but the meditation groups and the book study groups and the Enneagram group. And this year, we've been so fortunate to have just a parade of wonderful speakers and participants. And I just especially want to thank each and every one of you who have participated this year and over the 10 years. Can you believe it's been 10 years that we've been doing Not Church every month? And so now Tranquilo, we find Tranquilo expanding, and we're doing some new activities with Tranquilo. In addition to some of the seminars that we did last year, we did a leadership workshop, a leadership training for local leaders here. And we're doing that again. In fact, it was supposed to be tomorrow, but because of the spike in COVID, we've postponed to February 28th to March 1st. It is full right now, but there may be some openings as the date shifts around. But anyway, again, we'll tell you more about that later. So in addition to what Rose and Beatrice bring with them, with their own knowledge and expertise, I think they're going to be doing some expansions also. I think they're going to bring the Healing Collective into Tranquilo and Not Church. And I guess Tranquilo in a way is sort of turning toward building community in some other ways, some additional ways. So this kind of frees some of us up to pay more attention to that direction. And it's just, I'm grateful. I'm very grateful for the expansion, and I'm very grateful for the new leadership. And most especially, I would like to thank Nadine. And I know that we all want to thank Nadine because she has been hosting this for the whole time that we've been on Zoom. And Nadine and I have been sidekicks in Not Church for 10 years, starting on our 11th year now. So Nadine, thank you very much. And would you like to just unmute and let us acknowledge you for a second?
Thank you, Anna. And it's been a really wonderful experience to be working with Not Church and all the leadership and all the amazing participants throughout these 10 amazing years. It keeps changing, it keeps growing. And I'm so excited and looking forward to what Rose and Beatrice and all the new participants bring to this wonderful community building endeavor. So thank you all. And with that, I turn this meeting over and hand the keys over to Rose and Beatrice.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. I guess from both Beatrice and I, we're overwhelmed and excited and in so much appreciation for the 10 years history of Not Church, for Anna and Nadine for guiding us through the technology maze of Zoom, and really for everyone hanging in and attending the Zoom Not Churches. It's been thrilling and amazing to see the way this community has kind of overcome any kind of obstacles, and it continues to grow. And so I'm going to start the new year out by showing a clip from New Year's Eve in New York City at Times Square, where Amanda Gorman read her New Day's lyric. In case you haven't seen it or didn't hear it, I think it's worth listening to. So I'm going to go ahead and share my screen and see what we can do.
Will do. This is called New Day's lyric. May this be the day we come together. Morning we come to mend, withered we come to weather, torn we come to tend, battered we come to better. Tethered by the year of yearning, we are learning that though we weren't ready for this, we have been readied by it. Steadily we vow that no matter how we are weighed down, we must always pave a way forward. This hope is our door, our portal, even if we never get back to normal. Someday we can venture beyond it, to leave the known and take the first steps. So let us not return to what was normal, but reach toward what is next. What was cursed, we will cure. What was plagued, we will prove cure. Where we tend to argue, we will try to agree. Those fortunes we forswore, now the future we foresee. Where we weren't aware, we're now awake. In those moments we missed, are now these moments we make, these moments we meet. In our hearts, once all together beaten, now all together beat. Come, look up with kindness yet, for even solace can be sourced from sorrow. We remember not for the sake of yesterday, but to take on tomorrow. We heed this old spirit in a new day's lyric. In our hearts we hear it. For all lang syne, my dear, for all lang syne. Be bold, same time this year. Be bold, same time. For when you honor yesterday, tomorrow ye will find. Know what we thought need not be forgot, nor for none. It defines us, binds us as one. Come over, join this day just begun. For wherever we come together, we will forever overcome.
And that was streamed from Times Square on New Year's Eve. And I just thought it was a really special way to start not only a new day, but a new year. And I think it's a great message that when we come together, we can overcome. And I do believe when Not Church comes together, it can overcome any kind of obstacles. So we're looking forward to a great new year with you all. And just in deep appreciation for you being here, I'm going to share just a moment of my mindfulness journey. And I don't know, hopefully you can see this. It's a picture of Thich Nhat Hanh, and
Oh, look at you.
his quote says, "Our own life has to be our message." And so that would be my wish for you, that as you live your life this new year, it becomes your message, not only to yourself, but to others as you shine your light out. Now, I was fortunate enough to actually study with Thich Nhat Hanh, and excuse me, in the picture you saw, excuse me, in the picture you saw the Thai Plum Village monastics in meditation hall and practicing outside. I was with one of the brothers, we called them brothers and sisters, not monks and nuns. And I learned how to live mindfully. I lived in Thailand and taught there for 8 years. And one summer, I hadn't planned my spring and summer vacation. So they'd asked me if I would go to the Thailand monastery and teach English to the brothers and sisters for a month. And I thought, well, I'd been spending all my other breaks just kind of going, studying meditation, energy work, yoga in India, Tibet, Nepal. I just kind of been all over. I hadn't been in the central mountains of Thailand, nor had I ever lived in a monastery. So I thought, well, I guess I could do this for a month. And what I learned was that mindfulness is a way of life. I think oftentimes it's confused with mindful meditation, meditation and mindfulness, and which one is which. Well, meditation is usually done quiet and sitting. Mindfulness is kind of done all day, every day, no matter what you're doing, as long as you can be mindful about it. And live in the present. And that really is the entire message, is that we stay present to our life. And when I was at the monastery, we learned to mindfully cut the vegetables, mindfully garden, mindfully clean the restrooms, mindfully eat, mindfully walk. And it was done so that you really were in the present moment. And in the present moment is really all we have. So one of the things we learned is to put the past in one hand, the present in the past in one hand, the future in the other hand, bring them together, and you're then in the present. So anytime during the day you feel like you're way off thinking about the future, or you're way back into the past, you can just do that. You can also just touch your heart, and it will bring you right out of wherever you were into your heart. And so my wish is that we would learn to live in mindfulness. Now, after I did the month in Thailand, I decided I really needed to meet the Zen master Thich Nhat Hanh in person and study with him. So that summer, during our summer break, I took the 2 months of the summer break and went to France, to the France Plum Village, which is where he was living at the time. Something said, go now, do that this summer. I am so glad I was able to sit at his feet in meditation, to walk mindfully through the plum tree orchards, which is where the Plum Tree Village got its name. And it truly, truly changed my mind. That November, he had a stroke and he has not been able to speak since. but he did just turn 95 this year, and he's back in Vietnam at his home temple where he became a monk at age 16. He really is known as the father of meditation. He really brought it to the US, where Westerners really wanted spirituality without the trappings of religion. And that really is what mindfulness represents. One of his students, John Kabat-Zinn, brought it to the forefront in America with his mindfulness-based stress reduction program and the scientific studies of mindfulness and how it works. So it's really become mainstream, and it is considered a practice. It's something you do every day. Some days you forget, some days you remember. So I would like to suggest that each of you try to come up with a small mindful practice that fits for you. One of the things we learned was upon waking in the morning to open your eyes and smile. You're smiling to a brand new day. And then recall something that you're grateful for. And as you put your feet on the ground, the first foot says thank, the second foot says you. So as you stand up, you've already said thank you for a brand new day. And then mindfully walk. Maybe you're going to walk to the kitchen to make your coffee or your tea. Each step is a thank you, thank you. And by the time you're enjoying, truly enjoying your beverage, enjoy it. And that's it. You've started a beautiful mindful day. I'd like now to just do a very short mindful meditation. And all it is I'll ring the bell and you will breathe in mindfully and breathe out mindfully. And so it's breathing in, breathing out. And that's all it is. And we'll do it for about a minute. So if you want to get comfortable, you can leave your eyes open or close your eyes. I'll ring the bell. We'll start to breathe in and breathe out. And then I'll ring the bell when it's time to come back. Breathing in, I know I'm breathing in. Breathing out, I know I'm breathing out. Breathing in, breathing out. In, out. Deep, slow. Breathing in, breathing out. Breathing in, peace. Breathing out, love. Breathing in, joy. Breathing out, happiness. Breathing in, I know I'm breathing in. Breathing out, I know I'm breathing out. Thank you. And now it's my pleasure to turn the meeting over to Beatrice. And she is an amazing person, and I'm so thrilled to be working with her. So take it away,
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. I just love you, Rose. And after hearing that, I was like, oh my gosh, so many reasons to love you, want to be next to you and learn from you. So I'm super excited to have you be my co-partner in this. I have to say that I'm new to this group, and I was so impressed by this group and the level of speakers and all the work that Nadine and Anna and the others have done, that I was really honored when Anna asked me if I'd be interested in leadership. And, you know, it's a difficult time for me right now too. And I got a little emotional earlier, but it's all good. So I said, yes, you know, I'll share it with someone. And what about Rose? And when Rose said yes, I thought, oh my gosh, this is my year. This is my year, my amazing year where everything's going to open up. And I just have to share that. I think had you asked me last year, I would have been, oh, I don't know, you know, this group is just too amazing. And this year, the new me is saying, yes, I'm stepping in with my own shoes, my own heels. A great year. And all the love and support that we've received has been amazing. So I thank you all for the groundwork and for your generosity too, and continue to tell us, you know, we're going to be there for you. We're going to help you. You know, we're all there for you. So it's such a wonderful group. I really want to say thank you to all of you, and how honored I am to be part of your group now. One more leadership role with you. So I just wanted to share some of our vision in terms of our expansion for this year. And Rose and I, you know, we've met with Anna and with Zenaida, and we don't want to make any changes. We feel like everything that you're doing right now is wonderful. The Not Church, the Enneagram, the book study, it's all wonderful. If anything, our goal is to expand. So part of our expansion is to be able to incorporate and integrate as part of Tranquilo Baja, our spiritual collaborative. We have I see him. We have a collaborative of spiritual healers that I began to organize with John DeCecco, with Yella, with Guillermina, with Rose, with a core group of us. Our goal is to bring together healers from Baja to support each other, to also bring it to the community and to have more events for the community. So that's one of the things we're looking at. And some of the, since some of the members were already members of your group, like Yella, Rose, I'm sure I'm missing a few others. We thought it made sense to bring us together, because I really believe in collaboration and coordination, and not replicating and duplicating things. You know, why not learn from each other, support each other? And I personally love personal growth. I've been growing spiritually as well quite a bit, and have had my eyes open while in Baja, like, oh my gosh, the level of healers that I've met, the amazing women that I've met, I'm just in awe of. And so I know this is all meant to be. I know this is supporting all of the things that I want to do. I'm very, very much a huge advocate for kids. My whole life has been you know, dedicated to being a child therapist. And I love personal growth work. I love, you know, helping others fulfill their dreams, and really encouraging others to go for what you want. You know, it's your life and you're in charge. You're in the driver's seat, right? So if you're not in charge, who's in charge? So all that is really exciting for me, and I look forward to all that. So part of, if anything, part of the expansion that we've talked a little bit about is being able to have some spiritual retreats, maybe at my home, wherever, anywhere I'm open, but being able to have more spiritual and personal growth workshops. I am bilingual, so I would love to do some presentations in Spanish for the community, to reach out to them. Not bilingually, because that's very challenging and frustrating for both sides, but I would love to do more to bring that to the community in Baja. So some of the other things we want to do is some local trips, some hikes, maybe visits to the Kumayai, and also eventually, when it's safe to do so, or in a way that's safe for us, to be able to also visit some sacred historical sites. You know, there's plenty in Baja, there's plenty in Mexico, and also, you know, eventually Egypt. If you haven't been there yet, I haven't, but, you know, really planning some of those trips for us would be really fun. So we also are very interested in hearing from you. You know, what are some things that you're interested in for your own personal growth this year or for the community? What suggestions do you have for us? What ideas? And so if you go to our website, to Tranquilo Baja, there's actually a place where you can click suggestions. And please, share with us, because this is yours as well. We want you to have a role, and we want you to benefit and get all that you can from it as well. So those emails will come directly to me, and that'll be awesome. So, let me know, because you have the history and I'm new to this. So I really look forward to working with Rose and all of you. So with that, I'm going to do a couple of activities for us today. And you might want to take a moment, if you don't already have a pen and paper, you may want to take some notes. So while I set up my PowerPoint, I'll have you do that. Okay, here we go. Everyone ready? Okay. Now I haven't done a PowerPoint in quite a while, so I'll make the next one a little bit more jazzier. Okay, but this is a quote that I really enjoy. And it's, whether you think you can or whether you think you can't, you're right. And that was from Henry Ford, who, we know all the amazing things he did. So this is a quick activity where you can take a minute to jot down some goals that you have for this coming year, and the things that you need to be able to get to that goal. And you'll probably want to do more of this on your own with a little bit more time, but I wanted to just kind of begin to plant the seed. And then what you can do is just jot down, what are some of the behaviors, some of the thoughts, some of the patterns that you had this past year that can sabotage your goals. I'm sorry, I started with the wrong slide. Let me go back. I was wondering, wait a minute, this doesn't seem right. This is a little bit ahead of where I want it to be. So bear with me a minute here. No. I changed my my slides around this morning, and okay, here it is. I apologize for that. All right. So this is an activity of reflection. So reflecting on 2021 and thinking about, what behaviors, what thoughts, what beliefs did you hold this past year that may not have served you? I'm going to take a moment. You can jot a few things down. And then once you've done that, once you've written down, what behaviors, thoughts, beliefs you feel didn't serve you this past year, then you can do a releasing ritual. You can take your paper and you can burn it. You can say, thank you for the lessons. Thank you for the experience, for the reminders, right? And you can burn it, or you can also just tear it up in tiny, tiny little pieces and then release it. So you want to release all those things and not go back to it again, because 2022 is a new year. It's a new you. And it's a time for focusing on all the good that's going to be coming for yourself and your life. And I always think it's important to reflect on challenges, right? Because that's where some of our lessons can come from, or our greatest teachers as they say, are those that challenge us, right? That make us look at, oh yes, I have to speak up more, or whatever it is for you. So jot down, what are some of the lessons that came from that? What's the good that came from those challenges? And then make a list of the behaviors, the thoughts, the beliefs that you want to commit to this coming year. So let's say, for example, if last year you had experiences where, you maybe didn't speak up when you didn't like something, and it was very difficult, and you may have spoken up, or, but then it was very challenging. So this year, that may be what you want to work on, speaking up and being in your truth, being in your honest self, to be able to say what you want, what you need, in a way that's diplomatic, that isn't one extreme or the other, because if we don't speak up, we tend to hang on to resentments, and that's not good. And sometimes speaking up in a way that we haven't thought it through, and we're not clear about what it is that we're feeling, or what's happening to us, could also be putting off. So once you have all that, it's good to reflect every day. Just review your day. Like, did I do this today? Because it's changing behavior is not easy, which we'll talk about in a minute, right? But give yourself an assessment each day. Okay, hey, today I said no to this and was really uncomfortable, but I did it. And that's one step, right? One step towards mankind. I did it. And so with each day, it becomes easier. And once you take that step to say no to something or speak up or whatever it is for you, you get stronger and stronger, and you become more empowered to be you, to be who you really want to be, which is our goal for 2022. So now we're going to do another activity where you're going to be evaluating your life, where you're at right now in this moment. This is another quote that I love. All our dreams can come true if we have the courage to pursue them, right? And I'm sure you all know people that had nothing, that came either to Mexico or to California with nothing and built quite a bit. So everything is possible. He sure did, right? So what you're going to be doing is rating yourself from 1 to 10 in each of these areas, 10 being the best. You're doing really well in this area. And the first area is your physical, right? Which is your physical health, your nutrition, your exercise. I know that's always a challenging one for me. It used to be. So where would you rate yourself from 1 to 10? Now you want to look at your emotional. Your emotional is your relationships with yourself, your relationship with people, with your children, with friends, with your partner. How would you rate your emotional well-being? And then we're going to go on to your financial, your money. Where are you financially in terms of where you want to be? Do you feel abundant? Could be tithing. Tithing could fall under this too. It's a lot of issues around tithing sometimes. It's like, is there fear of, oh no, I can't give 10%, or no, money is energy, let me give and more comes. Where are you in terms of your finances, your money, your investments, whatever that encompasses for you? Where would you rate yourself from 1 to 10? And lastly is the spiritual. It's important that we feed our spiritual side, however that looks for you. It could be sitting in front of the ocean that we're so fortunate to have. It could be attending a service, whatever that is to you. How would you rate yourself in terms of where you want to be spiritually? Maybe you want to meditate more. Whatever that is to you. So now I want you to look at your numbers. So the areas that you rated high in, and even if you gave yourself a 10, you may want to reconsider that, because if you're at a 10, then you may be thinking, well, I'm fine already. I don't have to grow anymore. I don't have room for any more growth, right? And there's always room for growth. We're always growing. So you may want to give yourself a 9, because then you have room to grow. So having your areas that you're strong in is great, because now you know, right? And now you want to look at the areas that you need to strengthen. So even looking at the areas that you need to strengthen is a starting point. It's always good to know where you're at, because then you know where to get to. So you want to look at those areas and ask yourself also, and jot down, why do you want these goals? So let's say exercising, if I'm at a 5, I want to be at a 9. Why do I want to be there? I want to be there for my health, for my energy, because I feel better. I want to live a long, healthy life. So what are the reasons why, you want your goal? And then you can also jot down what would happen if you keep the same patterns, right? Because I think most of us are a little bit older, so we're pretty familiar with our patterns, right? If every year my goal is to exercise and I don't reach my goal, okay, what's going on? Right? So some of us know what our behaviors are, or that we sabotage ourselves or whatever. So what would happen if you continue to have the same patterns? Well, I'm not going to exercise. I'm not going to get healthier. I'm not going to have these things that I want, etc. Whatever it is for you. And then think about, what is your worst consequence? Like, what's the worst that can happen if you don't achieve that goal? We're good at beating ourselves up, right? Well, no, I did it again. I set this up and I didn't do it, etc. So, maybe the worst case is I'm on medication. I'm not healthy. I don't feel my best. All those things. So what it is for you. So the good thing is now you have some areas that you can focus on in 2022, the areas that maybe you didn't score high in. And one of the things you want to do is have some realistic goals. For example, if you're someone that really hasn't exercised much, and then your goal is to start exercising, walking, playing pickleball, whatever it may be, Monday through Friday, that may not be really realistic. You have to take small steps to get to the 5 days. Because what happens is we set these big goals in January, and then we get very disappointed because we didn't do it. We didn't accomplish it. So you want your goals to be a little stretch, right? A little uncomfortable, because if you're not comfortable, if you're comfortable, then you're pretty much staying where you're at. Once you feel a little uncomfortable, that means you're growing, you're expanding. And that's what we want for this year, right? Is expansion. And then jot down what are the behaviors that you've had that tend to sabotage your goals. I don't like getting up early, or I'm very tasky. I get up and start doing things, and then it's too late to exercise. So, whatever it is, whatever your patterns are, whatever behaviors you have, go ahead and jot those down, because then you're going to be aware of them. And then the next thing is having an accountability partner, and that's super important. Super important. Having somebody that you're accountable to. If it's someone that's going to let you get by, if it's someone that's not going to be totally honest with you, you may want to pick someone else. Sometimes your spouse may be too understanding or not. Sometimes it's good to pick a friend that is strong, that's going to hold you to it. So basically, with your accountability partner, you can tell them, look, these are the goals I have for this year. This has been my past behavior. So, if you pick up on it, remind me, and have them hold you accountable. Now, what some programs will recommend is that with your partner, you agree to do something that would be super uncomfortable for you if you didn't accomplish your goal, or you agree to do something that you would hate to do. Okay, so it could be you clean their house, you clean their bathroom, or you have to stand in front of your house in a bathing suit. Whatever would be terrorizing for you, that's the thing you want to do, because then that's going to be a stronger motivation for you to get your goal than not having your goal. And the other thing too is being aware of, well, I think this is on another slide, but it's very easy for us to justify and rationalize when we don't accomplish a goal. Well, it was COVID, and with the pandemic, and we can always come up with a million reasons, right, why we're not accomplishing our goals. So just be aware of that too. And sometimes they're great reasons, well, I was sick, whatever. But pay attention to that. Am I really sabotaging, justifying, rationalizing? Well, I really didn't need it that much. I really didn't want it that bad. Because those are all common behaviors to keep us where we're at, right? So you want to be uncomfortable. So this may be the year that, yes, being uncomfortable is good. That means you're stepping out of your circle of comfort. You're expanding, you're growing. So it's a great way to look at being really uncomfortable. It's like, great, you're alive, you're growing, you're moving. And then visualize. It's really important to visualize, because your brain doesn't know the difference between what's real and what isn't. So, every morning wake up and visualize your goal. In the evening before you go to bed, have your subconscious support you and work with you to get your goal. And try to use all your senses. So when you accomplish your goal, where are you? Who's around you? What are the scents? What are the sounds? What are you wearing? Make it as real as possible, and just keep that image. And as Rose was saying, stay in the moment. Don't go back to, well, what about this? And what about that? And what if this? No. You say, thank you, brain, because your brain is geared to, help you be fearful and doubtful. You say, nope, I got this. This is my year. This is my year. So visualizing, and then putting it out to the universe. So share your goals. And again, be cautious. My mother used to always say, be careful, because there's so much jealousy and envy out there. And, you can't say everything to everybody. And, the friends that you can share things with that are going to be supportive. Sometimes friends have good intentions, but they're very fearful. Well, oh, you sure you want to do that? And yeah, so share your goals with people that are going to support you, that believe you, that know you're greater than you think you are. And this is super important, to celebrate your successes. We tend to focus on the negative. If we didn't do something, if we didn't exercise that week, whatever it is, it's like, that's what we focus on. And it's like, no, it's okay. Today's a new day. I did do this. I woke up earlier. I did walk around the block. So notice the little things and celebrate the little things, because it's those little things that add up, and all those steps then take you towards your goal. So acknowledging your accomplishments, every little step that you take. And that's something you can agree to also with your accountability partner. If I don't notice, if I tend to not focus on the steps that I've taken, remind me, because, other people will do it. And the other thing is celebrating your successes. Celebrate those little steps. It could be a bubble bath. It could be you have an hour to yourself, whatever it is, whatever's going to give you that that self-love and sense of pride, like, yes, I did this. Sometimes we take things for granted. We take a lot of what we do for granted. And we have to stop and think, other people wouldn't even take this step because they're not ready or they're too shy, whatever it may be, right? So acknowledging that, like Anna, Nadine, all this amazing thing that you created, right? It's a lot to acknowledge. So changing behavior is not easy. If it were, we would all be thin and rich or famous, right? And this is kind of an overview of a topic that can be, more than a week long, right? Changing some of our limiting beliefs, lots of things that I'm sure you're all exposed to. So it can be very challenging when you start changing behaviors. And like I've mentioned, change is uncomfortable. That means it's good. That means you're expanding. And it's nice to begin to journal, to just jot down, what are some of the negative thoughts that came up for you that day? What are some of the things, what's the self-talk that's supporting you? And what's the self-talk that's keeping you, either insecure, uncomfortable, whatever it may be, so that you begin to acknowledge that. You begin to bring it to the forefront. And awareness is the first step. Being aware of your behaviors, the positive, the good, the things that make you successful, and being aware of the limiting beliefs that we have that hold you back or that, create more challenge sometimes. That's great. The more awareness you have, the better. Because then you have the awareness to move forward, to change it, right? And all behavior can take 21 days to change. Some people say 60 days, but I think the consensus is 21 days. If you do something for 21 days, then you have that. You begin to establish a pattern, right? And once you establish a pattern, a habit, after a while, it all becomes subconscious. So you don't even have to be conscientious about doing it. And a good example is driving. When you first start to drive, you're checking everything, you're being super careful. And, after years of driving, you eat, you put your makeup on, whatever, you get from one place to the other, and you're like, wow, I just zoned out that whole ride, because you don't have to think about it. You already know how to drive, where you're going, etc. Not that I would recommend any of that, I don't. But just an example of how habits get filed in a subconscious way. So if you don't mind, I will go back because I moved one of the slides. And close your eyes if this is annoying. Let me go back to. Oh, well. Anyways, I'm gonna take that out. So any thoughts? Any questions? And it was kind of brief.
I saw in the chat where someone would like to see the slides, and I think Z answered that she would post it on the website. So I think that's great. And I think that we will say thank you, B. And I see that we're very close to our time. So I think we do have some time for announcements. And Anna, I think you had a few announcements.
Yes. Actually, I was thinking most of the things that I would talk about are on the tranquilobaja.com website. And I have to say, and they're on Facebook often. And I want to say a special thanks to Zenaida, because she is like the person behind the scenes. Nadine also has been working on the website, but Z is keeping us all up to date right now. And we very much appreciate you, Z. So you can go to the website to find those things. But we have Yella with us today, and she's going to say a couple words about the Enneagram group. And Nadine we've made some big changes, more changes, in the Tuesday study group that Nadine leads. So Nadine's going to talk about that. But why don't we start with Yella and the Enneagram?
Thanks, Anna. Are you able to hear me? No?
Yes.
Oh, okay. Sorry. Well, good morning, everybody. My name is Yella. My husband, Tom, and I co-lead the Enneagram group that meets on Thursday afternoons from 2 to 4 p.m. We meet on Zoom, so you don't have to be in the La Mission area to attend. We have people attending everywhere from LA to Nashville to Boquete, Panama. So anyone and everyone is welcome. For those of you that don't know about the Enneagram, it's an ancient study of human character. It's become quite popular in the culture in the last 50 years or so. A lot of people use it now as kind of parlor entertainment, but our group really goes deeper than that. It uses it more as a tool for personal growth and for spiritual deepening. So we've been through more than one author of books on the subject. And I think everyone in the group would probably agree that the Enneagram is truly eye-opening at whatever level or angle you want to approach it. So if you're interested at all in joining the group, please feel free to contact me or Tom. I believe Tom's contact information is on the Tranquilo website, and I will put my email address on the chat so that if you want to join, you can just contact me. Thanks.
Thanks, Yella. And I've been in a couple Enneagram groups now, and Yella and Tom's group is amazing. It's really deep self-reflection, and it's some really deep spiritual work. And I recommend it to anyone who's interested. And the Enneagram is fascinating. I started studying it years ago and keep doing it and keep finding out new information about it. And I find it to be a really useful tool for self-reflection and growth. So recommend that. Now, with regard to the study group, the Tuesday Happiness Study Group, things are changing big time. We're changing our whole format. We're not studying books anymore. We are taking turns with each of us bringing something to the table on a rotating basis. So like once every, 6-7 weeks, the person who's assigned that week has to bring in something of interest, generally, spiritually, to whatever the current topic happens to be. It could be letting go, it could be meditation, it could be mindfulness, it could be with regard to a particular teacher. So we're going to meditate, check in on each other, and then have like 10-15 minutes of a video or some type of sharing from an individual. Anna is on the hot seat this week, and I know she's having a lot of fun and really learning a lot herself by being the person in charge of bringing in the material. So it's a whole new thing. We're not studying a particular book anymore. So if anyone's interested in joining, you can still contact me, or we'll be sending out the Zoom link to Happiness Study Group members because we don't post it publicly. So that's the deal, and we're looking forward. We're starting up new. It's been 7 years, and we're starting a whole new cycle with a whole new way of doing things as well. So anyone is welcome. We have people, in Laguna and different places who will also join because we are also on Zoom.
Thank you. And there is another study group that you can find on the website as well. It's called the Meditation Study Group. It also meets on Tuesday. So sorry, because I just think Nadine's group sounds exciting. I'm already in the group and want to do both. So anyway, ours meets at 2:30 on Tuesdays, and we do a half-hour meditation, and then we usually have a book, and we're starting a new book that I believe you did last time. It's called Falling into Grace by Adishanti. And so we're looking forward to that. And if anyone would want to join that group, if you go to the website under weekly gatherings and you click the meditation study group, it'll say contact Carol, And if you do that, you'll get the link to our meeting. And are there any other announcements? No? Well,
I'd like to mention that next month is our focus is love. And I hope to have some of our spiritual healers present to you and be available for any questions and answers, and include them and expand our membership as well. We have several people that we're familiar with Tranquilo Baja. So I'm looking forward to, our mutual support and growth. Thank you everyone for today and for welcoming us.
please send us ideas, suggestions, whatever. We love you. Peace and happiness to each one of you every moment of every day. Blessings.
Blessings.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Should we unmute so everybody can say hi? Yeah.
Absolutely unmute.
Yes. Thank you. Thank you so much.
Thanks, everyone.
Thank you all. See you.
Thank you, Rose. Thank you, Beatrice,
Bye.
Anna, everyone.
Yeah.
Thank you, everybody.
Bye.
Great job, you
everyone.
guys. That was a great job.
Oh,
Yeah.
thank
Way to
you.
go, Rose and
Thanks,
Beatrice.
Ellen. Bye.
Thank you
Bye,
very
Mary
much.
Beth. Bye, John. Bye, everybody. Bye, Anna.
everybody.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye, everybody. Oh, get to see everybody now.
We'll call you later.
Okay. Love you all. Oh, how wonderful. Oh, it's Ana, Claudia. No te conocí.
I see Claudia. I haven't seen Claudia in a very long time. Ah,
I know, I've been here.
Good to
nice,
see you.
nice to
to
see
see
you,
you.
Sandy. Happy to
Bye-bye.
see you all.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Let me stop the recording.